Let's be honest, most men never see it coming. They think love is easy, that women are simple, that attraction is something you can force. But here's the truth. The woman who truly wants to marry you doesn't waste her time with illusions or games. She doesn't text you endlessly. She doesn't chase you when her heart is invested. She shows it in ways so subtle, so deeply human, that most men completely overlook them. And the tragedy is, if you can't recognize these signals, you'll never understand the depth of what she offers, and you'll keep missing the kind of love that changes everything. Pay attention to the way she prioritizes you, not just in her schedule, but in her emotions. A woman who sees a future with you doesn't just make time, she carves out moments, even when life is chaotic, even when she's exhausted or stressed. Her time becomes yours, not because she has to, but because she wants to. You'll notice it in the smallest gestures, the coffee she makes just the way you like it, the way she remembers details about your childhood stories that you barely thought anyone would notice. It's not manipulation. It's devotion. Real devotion looks effortless when it's genuine. Then there's her vulnerability. Most women guard their hearts carefully because the world has taught them to survive first. But the one who sees a life with you will let down those walls in ways that terrify her. She'll share the fears she hides from everyone else, the dreams she doesn't say aloud, the moments she cries when nobody is watching. And here's the point that most men miss. She does this not to test you, not to manipulate, but because she's assessing whether you are safe enough to hold her world without breaking it. Only a man who truly understands emotional intelligence will see this as the highest compliment. Her actions mirror her words, and there's no ambiguity. She doesn't just say, "I love you" or "I care about you." She proves it consistently, in ways so small they could slip by unnoticed if your heart isn't awake. She defends you when you're not there. She supports your ambitions even when she has her own struggles. She laughs at your jokes even when she's tired. These are not random acts. They're signals of a woman who has decided you matter more than fleeting distractions. And yet, she doesn't lose herself in the process. This is crucial. She maintains her identity, her passions, her boundaries, and her dignity. Why? Because she knows that love without self-respect is meaningless. A woman who truly wants to marry you will inspire you to grow, to step up, to be a man who can meet her at her level, not just someone who temporarily fills a space in her life. She's looking for a partner, not a placeholder, and this is where many men fail to grasp the psychology behind her actions. So pay attention. Look for the subtle signs hidden in ordinary days. Notice how she navigates your disagreements, how she celebrates your wins, how she stays even when it's hard. Because these aren't just acts of love, they are a woman's silent commitment, her quiet promise that she sees you as her forever. Most men never see it, and most lose it, thinking they can't earn or understand it. But the truth is, it's always been there. It's just a matter of whether you're awake enough to recognize it. The difference between a woman who's casually dating and one who truly wants to marry you is almost invisible, but it's there, and it's profound. It's in the way she invests herself in your world without asking for anything in return. She doesn't just listen to you, she hears you. Every hesitation, every sigh, every quiet worry you try to hide, she notices. And she doesn't treat these observations like weapons or leverage. She treats them like keys to understand your heart. Most men think this is ordinary, but it's not. It's extraordinary. This is a level of attention reserved only for the man she envisions spending a lifetime with. Watch how she handles conflict. The casual, just-for-now woman will argue to win, to prove a point, or to assert power. But the woman who sees marriage with you, she argues to connect. She listens while you speak, even when your words are messy or incomplete. She apologizes sincerely when she's wrong, and she forgives when you stumble. She doesn't need to be right, because the bigger picture, your shared future, matters far more than any momentary ego. This is a mindset that most men will never consciously see, and yet it speaks louder than words ever could. Then there's her consistency. Casual interest is fleeting, sporadic, and unreliable. But when a woman is committed at heart, her attention doesn't waver. You'll notice it in the little things. She texts to check if you arrived home safely. She remembers the small details you casually mention, and she anticipates your needs without being asked. She doesn't do these things for validation or praise. She does them because she's quietly invested in the life she's imagining with you. And if you are the kind of man who dismisses small gestures, thinking they're insignificant, you'll miss the golden signals of lifelong love hiding in plain sight. There's a fire in her when she supports you. She becomes your most unwavering cheerleader, your silent partner in every pursuit that matters. She doesn't compete with you or belittle your ambitions. She amplifies them, and she does it without drawing attention to herself because she knows that love isn't about recognition. It's about the mutual elevation of each other. This is rare, this is precious, and when you see it, understand that it's a conscious choice, not a coincidence. Her boundaries also speak volumes. A woman who intends to marry you will never compromise her dignity or self-respect to win your attention. She will challenge you, she will hold you accountable, and she will refuse to tolerate behavior that diminishes your mutual value. Why? Because she's thinking long-term. She's imagining life together, not fleeting thrills. She knows that a relationship built on compromise of character is doomed, and she refuses to participate in anything less than a partnership where both people grow, thrive, and honor each other. So here's the harsh truth many men fail to see. The women who are worth holding on to don't chase, they don't nag, and they don't beg. They quietly, consistently, and relentlessly invest in the right man. They show their desire through actions that last longer than words, gestures that speak deeper than promises. And if you don't recognize this, you risk mistaking casual affection for lifelong commitment and losing the one woman who sees a future with you. Trust is the currency of lasting love, and the woman who truly wants to marry you spends it sparingly, wisely, and deliberately. She doesn't hand it out to just anyone, because she knows the value of her heart and the cost of losing it. Most men don't realize this. They mistake flirtation, attention, or fleeting intimacy for commitment. But when a woman begins to fully trust you, when she opens doors she's never opened before, that's when you know she's imagining a future with you. This isn't casual affection. This is a sacred investment, one that only the right man earns. Notice how she lets you into her world, piece by piece. The photos she keeps private, the dreams she whispers late at night, the fears she buries even from her closest friends, all of this becomes yours. She doesn't do this lightly. She chooses you, not because she's searching for validation, but because she believes you are capable of holding her whole self without judgment. This level of emotional intimacy is rare. Most men encounter surface-level connection, easy smiles, and playful banter, but the depth she offers, that is reserved for the man she is ready to build a life with. Then there's the way she integrates you into her life. A woman who intends to marry doesn't keep you on the periphery. She introduces you to the people who matter, family, closest friends, her inner circle, not as a formality, but as a statement. It's a signal that she's imagining a permanent place for you in her world, and she does it carefully, thoughtfully. She wants you to know her life, just as she wants you to show her yours. Shared spaces, shared experiences, shared memories, these are the foundations she's quietly laying, even when you're not aware of it. She also trusts you with her vulnerabilities, but here's the nuance. She doesn't give them away recklessly. She tests the waters, slowly revealing layers, watching for your response, sensing if your respect, patience, and understanding match the depth of what she's offering. Her heart is not casual. Every tear she shows, every confession she makes, every secret she entrusts to you is a statement. She is choosing you over the fear of being hurt again, over the safety of holding her walls up. That is commitment in its rawest, most honest form. Pay attention to the way she communicates. She doesn't play endless games or cryptic tactics with the man she truly wants. Her words align with her actions. If she says she's thinking about a future together, it's not empty talk. If she plans, adjusts, or sacrifices for your shared dreams, she's signaling that her intentions are serious. Men often dismiss these signals, expecting grandiose displays, but lasting love is quiet, consistent, and practical. It's in the everyday decisions, the small sacrifices, the moments she chooses you without hesitation. Finally, notice how she respects your vulnerabilities too. A woman ready to commit understands that trust is reciprocal. She doesn't exploit your weaknesses or manipulate your emotions. She mirrors the respect and care she expects to receive, creating a space where you both can grow. This balance of vulnerability and respect is rare, and it is exactly what makes a relationship not just survive, but thrive for a lifetime. Loyalty is the invisible force that separates fleeting attraction from lifelong commitment. The woman who truly wants to marry you doesn't merely talk about devotion, she embodies it. She becomes a shield, a confidant, a partner who safeguards your heart just as fiercely as you should safeguard hers. Most men think loyalty is obvious, but it isn't. It's subtle. It's in the choices she makes when no one is watching, in the moments she puts you above fleeting distractions, and in the way she protects the life she envisions with you. Pay attention to how she reacts when challenges arise. Life is full of pressures, work stress, family drama, unexpected crises. A woman who sees a future with you doesn't abandon the ship when waters get rough. She stands by you, sometimes silently, sometimes with guidance, but always with commitment. She doesn't just offer comfort, she actively contributes to solving problems. She thinks strategically, not impulsively, about how to protect what matters most. And if you can't see this, you might mistake her quiet perseverance for ordinary patience, but it's extraordinary. Then there's how she prioritizes you. Casual interest fades when life gets busy, but a woman ready for marriage will rearrange her world for you, not because she's obligated, but because she genuinely wants to. She celebrates your victories as if they were her own. She notices when you're struggling, and she subtly shifts her energy to meet you where you are. She won't force herself into your life, but she will intentionally choose to be a part of it, creating a sense of partnership that most men will never fully recognize until it's gone. Her protection of your emotional space is equally important. She doesn't gossip about your flaws, she doesn't exploit your insecurities, and she doesn't use private moments against you. Instead, she becomes a safe haven, a person you can trust with your fears, your weaknesses, your deepest ambitions. That is rare. Most women reserve this level of care for very few people, and when she gives it to you, it signals something profound. She is imagining a lifetime with you and wants to build a foundation of trust that can withstand anything. Observe the subtle sacrifices she makes. They are rarely dramatic or showy, but they matter more than any grand gesture. Skipping a social event because she knows you need support, staying up late to help you navigate a problem, putting her own plans on hold to make room for a shared goal. These are the silent ways she demonstrates her commitment. This isn't about losing herself. It's about consciously creating a life that includes you, that respects you, that invests in the potential of your shared future. And finally, notice her loyalty in her words and actions outside your private moments. She speaks positively about you when you're not there. She stands up for your character, and she subtly but consistently signals that she's aligned with you, not as a follower, but as a partner. This alignment is not something casual, it's intentional. It reflects a woman who is preparing to merge her life with yours, someone who has assessed the risks, the rewards, and chosen you as her forever. Emotional investment is the ultimate test of a woman's intentions. Anyone can flirt, anyone can smile, but only the woman who truly wants to marry you invests her heart, time, and energy with a long-term vision in mind. She doesn't just engage with the present moment, she imagines a shared future, and she carefully aligns her actions with that vision. Most men never notice this because they're too busy chasing excitement, but the signals are there for those awake enough to see them. She plans with you in mind, even when she doesn't say it out loud. Dinner plans, vacations, career decisions, social gatherings, she subtly incorporates your presence into her life, It's not about controlling you or forcing a narrative. It's about naturally integrating your life with hers. A woman who intends to marry you thinks about us, while everyone else is thinking about me. And it's not grandiose planning or flashy gestures, it's consistency, intentionality, and foresight. Then there's her emotional energy. She will lift you when you're down, support your ambitions, and push you toward growth without diminishing her own. She celebrates your victories genuinely and mourns your losses authentically. This is not a performance. It's a reflection of how much she values your life intertwined with hers. You'll notice she invests more in understanding your emotions than most people invest in themselves. That is the hallmark of someone thinking long-term, someone willing to merge her life with yours in a way that lasts. She also shows patience in ways men rarely appreciate. Relationships are tested daily, and the woman ready for marriage understands this. She forgives, adapts, and works to strengthen the bond rather than breaking it at the first sign of friction. Her patience is not weakness, it's deliberate. It's the quiet strength of someone who knows the stakes, someone who sees the possibility of a lifetime together and is willing to navigate challenges thoughtfully rather than impulsively. Observe how she includes you in her dreams. Casual partners focus on themselves, but she visualizes life with you, your future home, family dynamics, shared experiences. She subtly tests your responses, gauges your vision, and sees if you're capable of co-creating a life together. This is not manipulation, it's assessment. She wants to know that her trust and commitment will be reciprocated by a man who is ready to step into the same vision with her. Finally, notice her subtle acts of foresight. She saves conversations, remembers details, and anticipates challenges not to control, but to prepare for a life together. Every small choice, every tiny consideration is a reflection of her long-term thinking. She invests in you in ways that won't be understood in the moment, but will become unmistakable over time. And if you are paying attention, you will see the unmistakable truth. She is not just present for the day-to-day, she is present for a lifetime, and she's already choosing you for that path. The woman who truly wants to marry you has already decided in her heart, long before any vows are spoken. She doesn't need to say it every day, and she doesn't need to constantly prove it. Her actions, her energy, her presence, and her unwavering investment reveal everything. Most men miss this because they are distracted by casual attention or fleeting attraction. But if you learn to see the patterns, to read the quiet signals, you will understand something life-changing. She has already chosen you, and she shows it in ways most men will never recognize. She celebrates you without reservation. Every success, every small win, every step you take toward becoming a better version of yourself, she notices. She doesn't just applaud. You feel it in the way she looks at you, in the care she gives, and in how she quietly builds a world where your growth is honored. That is not casual interest. That is devotion, and it is rare. Most men encounter attention, but attention fades. Devotion lasts. It sustains a relationship through every trial, every misunderstanding, every day of life that tests both of you. She protects your heart, but she also challenges you to grow. She will not indulge your weaknesses without cause. She will call you out when you are not living up to your potential. She will push you toward the man she sees you can become. This is not criticism. It is love in its most powerful, transformational form. She is quietly shaping the life she imagines with you, and in the process, she is shaping the man she knows you can be. Notice how she prioritizes love over ego. She does not hold grudges over trivial arguments. She does not seek to win in petty battles. Her focus is on the enduring connection between you, the life you are building together. And she does this with grace, without fanfare, without expectation of reward. That is the hallmark of someone who is thinking far beyond the moment, beyond today, and is imagining a shared future built on trust, respect, and mutual care. She also invests in the little things, moments most men overlook. Remembering your favorite meal, supporting your hobbies, leaving notes or messages that only you understand. These are not trivialities. They are proof that she sees you deeply, completely, and wants to integrate her life with yours in ways that last. And the man who notices these small gestures will understand the immensity of her commitment before it is ever spoken aloud. Now, here's a personal question for you. Think carefully. On a scale from 1 to 10, how well do you recognize the signals she's been showing you all along? Write your answer in the comments below. If you understood even a fraction of this, do 3 things right now. Like this video to acknowledge your growth, subscribe to continue unlocking these truths, and share this with a friend who needs to hear it, because the men who see clearly are the men who keep her.